Hi, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Cooky. I apologize for the delay. I was having some technical issues with all of this platform, and so this is a new experience for me. And so I appreciate your patience and everything else. My name is Cooky. If you are watching this for the first time, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd love for you to tell me where you are watching from, if you are catching us live or during the replay. Now, there is a chat box, so definitely go ahead and post all of your questions there. And at the end of the demo and recipe creation, then I will go over all of those questions. So first of all, I want to go ahead and review with you before we get started on all the cooking of all the various specials that we have going on. And so wanting to first start off with what is our gift with purchase for the month of August. So there are three separate options. One is that you get to pick from one of these options. When your purchases are over $90 or more. And so the first option is our Twix-It clips. They're in a package of about 10 from various sizes. The other option is our cut and seal. This is a great way to go ahead and make your own personal crustables. If you wanted to go ahead and do that, also works great if you're working with pie dough in order to go ahead and create those seals around there. And then the other option that is offered is that it's a donation offer. So if you have the clip set, or the cut and seal, then you'll be able to actually, if you wanted to go ahead and donate 10 meals to Feeding America, then that would be an option for you. Okay, and I need to grab something out of the oven. Going to go ahead and set that up. So that is our gift with purchase. Now this month there are several specials that are being offered. One is some introductory prices on our new Brilliance bakeware, which I will show you guys here in just a few minutes. Also, there's 20% off on some select prep essentials. And I wanted to go ahead and share with you some of my personal favorites. So one is that our chef's tongs, both the small and the large. And if you're not familiar with these, when they're facing upward, they're locked into position. And when they're facing downward, they unlock. So that way it makes it really kind of easy. They are silicone, so they're heat resistant up to 650 degrees. These are just a favorite at our home. Another one that is, this is the dual adjustable grater. It has two grates. One is a fine grate, and then the other one is a extra coarse. So it kind of gives you more along the lines of a farm cut style. It does come with a cup that will hold about 2 cups capacity of whatever you're grating. And so these can come apart. But here we have them together. Okay. Now, before I introduce our Brilliance bakeware, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the other special we have, which there are 3 of them, right? So one of them is our back to school bundle, which includes the bento box, the apple cutter, apple wedger, and the bag clip and slicer set. The other one is the microwave cooking bundle, which includes the ceramic egg cooker, the micro cooker, the 2-quart size, and the microwave popcorn maker. I think that is my favorite of the 3 bundles that are being offered. I think they're great for upcoming college students to have in their dorm. And then our third one is called the Prep Ahead Bundle, using our reusable storage bags and several of our seasonings. One is the chimichurri, the smoky barbecue rub, and the lemon garlic rub. So before we get started, let's go ahead and let me show you the new Brilliance bakeware. Now, there are several pieces, and I'm going to start off with the large loaf pans. So these are two long loaf pans, both of them equal to about 9 by 13. One will actually do an 8 by 8. What's nice about these is that if you are doing some meal prep, then you can actually make multiple meatloaves, multiple lasagnas. You can put them in the freezer, and so you can actually cook once and then eat twice, just because you actually have them all stored there as well. So the one we're going to be utilizing tonight is our 8 by 8 Brilliance pan, and I will give you more of the information of these. But what's really nice is that the lids are on there, so you can actually put them also in the freezer. They are dishwasher safe, even though it is recommended that they be hand washed, because the nonstick coating will deteriorate over time if you have them inside the dishwasher often. And then we also have our 9 by 13. And then, of course, we have our final piece, which is our half sheet. This also has the rack, which can actually double also as a cooling rack. It does have silicone grips on the ends of the legs, so that way when you utilize it with the half sheet pan, it's not going to scratch it. But you do have the option of actually cooking or baking without it, and then if you needed to include this in there, you can, or you can actually use the baking sheet or the rack portion as a cooling rack for any additional baking that you might have. Now, here is what I wanted to show, because I think this is really a good visual. See that this is the 9 by 13 that's right here underneath, and the two loaf pans can sit right on top, so you can actually see that both of them will equate to a 9 by 13. Okay. And my camera is tracking me. So that is something that I have to work on later. Okay, so because this is a new recipe, I'm going to go ahead and use my cheat sheet. We're actually going to be doing two different things. We're going to be making a spinach and artichoke potato casserole and a strawberry lemonade quencher. So I'm going to go ahead and take these extra notes out, so that way we can go ahead and get started. And if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and I need to disable my tracking. There. Okay, so we're going to be this recipe will come together pretty quickly. We're going to be using our deluxe stand mixer to do all the hard work for us. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, I've done some work ahead of time. And what that is that it calls for 3 baked potatoes. So I have already microwaved. The first step was to go ahead and microwave these in for about 10 to 12 minutes. So that way they can kind of become really tender. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use our mix and chop to give them that coarse chop. Now the recipe calls for actually just chopping them and then adding them to this bowl. But I was like, why do that? So since everything's going to be mixed in here anyway, so why not start with it all here? So we're going to go ahead, and then it's a matter of just adding on our additional ingredients. So we've got a pretty good chop on those. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. So it does call for, we're going to go ahead and give our spinach a good chop. And I'm just going to go ahead and use our color-coded chef's knife. Now you can use frozen spinach. Actually, it just needs to be thawed in order for you to use that instead. We're going to just give that a good chop there. We're going to add that straight to our bowl. Okay. And then I've already pre-grated some Parmesan cheese that I'm going to go ahead and just throw it in. We're going to add a tablespoon of our garlic Parmesan seasoning. It does call for half a teaspoon of salt, but I am not going to go ahead and add that. Now we're going to go ahead and do our artichokes. Now it does have the top here that you can just pull off. I actually prefer using our smooth edge can opener, and all you're doing is twisting all the way around until you can actually feel that it's gone around. You'll do a quarter turn in order to release it. Now it does have some little teeth here on the end where you can actually attach in order to go ahead and lift it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and just drain these. I'm using our small colander and then also our plastic 2-quart small nesting bowl in order to just kind of store that. And then I am going to give these artichokes a quick chop. That way, they're just kind of smaller pieces. Just kind of break them up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pour those all in there. And we're going to go ahead and grab our sour cream and cream cheese. Calls for 4 ounces of cream cheese. And I'm using our measure all cup in order to kind of take care of those solids for us. And then we will also be taking a 1/4 cup there we go. 1/4 cup of sour cream. And pop that in there. Take care of those. And then we're going to go ahead and take, this was 8 ounces of white cheddar. So I'm just going to take half of it. With our mixture. Now we're going to go ahead and get these things started. Okay, going to change it to our mix setting. So our deluxe stand mixer actually has 6 presets. Whipped cream, mixed beet, meat, and then there's also custom, so you can actually change it. When I put it on the mix setting, by default, it has it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is exactly what we need. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that get started. And while that's mixing, I'm going to go ahead and clear this off. So it may be hard to hear, but I just want to go ahead and get started on some questions. So one, tell me what your favorite Pampered Chef product is. I'd love to hear what you think about some of the products that you are seeing, if you haven't seen them in a little while. Also, what are some favorites that you have at home? We're going to go ahead and now what I'm taking is that I'm going to be taking this 8x8 square baker. And we're going to give it about another minute before I start talking, so I don't want to have to, hopefully you can actually hear everything pretty good and go from there. So I appreciate you guys watching and helping me better my experience here. It's been a little while since I've actually done a live cooking show, and so I'm a little on the rusty side. So I appreciate your patience throughout this whole process. So thank you so much. We've got about 20 seconds left to go. Now, what I really like about this is that when you have these presets, it will stop when the time is done. So it's not something that you're going to have to continuously watch on all of this. And so we are done. And we're going to go ahead and take this mixture. Let's scoot that over. So that way you guys can see more clearly. So we're just going to take this entire mixture and we're going to go ahead and put it right in this 8x8 pan. Now I am not greasing these at all. And you will see the end result. So this is a recipe that comes together pretty quickly, probably probably takes about 15 minutes to kind of put together. And then it's just taking about another 10 to 15 minutes in order to kind of bake through. We're just kind of waiting for the cheese that I'm going to be adding onto this to melt, because everything is kind of already cooked. So it's just kind of topping it off. So we're going to go ahead and take the remaining part of our cheese. And this is white cheddar. So if you're not a fan of white cheddar, you can probably switch it out with another cheese. I don't see any reason why. Okay. Now, what I love about this is that when this is all done, right, if I am not going to be going ahead and serving it this evening, then it's something that I can actually just put the lid back on and refrigerate. This will be eaten tonight, but I love that you can actually prep ahead with some of these pieces and go from there. So we're going to go ahead and pop this in the oven. The oven was preheated to 425 degrees, okay? Being that these are darker pans, okay, for any recipes that are not Pampered Chef specific, you will want to go ahead and reduce the temperature by 25 degrees. I actually did Pampered Chef's almond pound cake in one of the long loaf pans, and because of I wasn't using a true 9x13 or true 9x5 stoneware loaf pan, then the cooking time for me on this pan was cutting in half. So definitely want to think about it when you're using these pans, is that you're using both of them for a particular recipe. It kind of equates to a 9x13. If it's not, then cut it in half in order to accommodate an 8x8. Okay, so let's go ahead and got my timer going there, because now we're going to go ahead and get started on our beverage. So we're going to be doing a strawberry lemonade quencher. And we'll be moving some things around here in just a few minutes. Okay. Let's move things around so we can see. And again, I'm using a cheat sheet here. So now I am actually going to be cutting this recipe in half. Okay. And I'm going to show off. So this is using our quick stir pitcher. So this is a 2-quart size. The recipe calls for it being used in the family quick stir pitcher, which is a gallon size. So I am going to be cutting all of these ingredients in half in order to make it into this particular pitcher. What I love about the quick stir pitcher is that I don't have to worry about stirring things up too much. It's really nice and simple. I did realize that I am missing an ingredient, so give me just 1 second. Okay. So what we're going to do instead, this is using a Bacardi's or a non-alcoholic frozen strawberry daiquiri mix. I was unable to find the daiquiri mix in the frozen can, which you'll actually have to thaw. So that is what you would be using if you're using the full recipe. I'm actually just using the strawberry daiquiri liquid format, which I think this will be nice because then I can use it multiple times, but I can also cut the recipe ingredients in half instead of having to waste a can in order to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And I will go ahead and tell you the exact measurements for this particular recipe. So it calls for 10 ounces, which is the standard 10-ounce can. I'm going to be going ahead and using 5 ounces of the daiquiri mix. Now, this recipe calls for the full recipe calls for 3/4 cups of sugar. I am actually going to reduce that amount just because the daiquiri mix probably has a lot of sugar to begin with. So I'm going to just use 1/4 cup. You can go ahead and use a sugar alternative based on some of the comments that I have read from people. And so I'm just going to go ahead and mix that up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and use our Now, in hindsight, I would have done this better by just taking the sugar and mixing it in with the water that we're going to be adding. But I'm going to go ahead and mix that all in right there. Okay, so now we need to add, it says 10 cups of water, but I'm going to just use 5. We have 4. And based on what I can see here, it looks like you could probably do the full recipe of the 10 ounces with the 10 cups of water just fine in the 2-quart quick stir pitcher in order to get things going. Now we're going to go ahead and we need to add 1 cup of lemon, or in our case, a 1/2 cup of lemon. So I'm just going to go ahead and use now we have this is our citrus juicer. Yeah, it's our juicer. And when you're dealing, my preferred tool when it comes to citrus is definitely our citrus press. But because I need to have much more quantity here of about a 1/2 cup, right? Or in this, the original recipe is a full cup, then here, I'll just get more out of it. So we're going to go ahead. We'll do 1 more. It falls anywhere from 4 to 5 lemons, so we'll do 3. And hopefully we'll have all the juice that we need. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and pour that. Okay, so I'm a little shy on that. So the 4 to 5 large lemons, and I'm guessing this was not large enough, is not going to give you the full So we're going to go ahead and use this 5th lemon that I have. And we're close. So it's just a little shy of under a half a cup, which that will be okay. And we're going to go ahead and put that right inside. Okay, so we have our water, our drink, our lemons, some sugar, and so now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and blend this and mix this up. Now we're going to go ahead and add a little couple more things to this. So one is I'm going to go ahead and take some lemon slices that I had already cut up. I'm going to put them right inside the punch. And then we're also going to go ahead and slice some strawberries. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and prep these a little bit. And probably more strawberries than I need. But what I am going to go ahead and show you here is our cup slicer. So I actually really love this because it allows you to do bananas and kiwis and strawberries and mushrooms really easily. If you have littles at home or even grandkids, they can actually do this. How this works is you're just going to press down on each one. Let's see if I can zoom in even a little bit more. So you're going to go ahead and press all the way down. And so that way they're actually cut. Now, in order to go ahead and release them, because the last piece that's cut is still stuck onto the bottom of the blades. Okay, so you're going to use this cup that's part of it, and it's a little holder. So it actually just puts it in there. So it pushes those strawberries right to the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all those strawberries. And how they were just cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that to our punch. And then our strawberry lemonade quencher is done. Now the perfect timing, because our dish is ready to come out of the oven. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift that, and I'm going to actually zoom in because I think it's better seeing it up front. Let's see if we can zoom in even closer. There we go. So there is the entire dish. Like I said, it took no more than about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes into the oven. It's kind of cooked all the way around. Now, I am going to show you this because this is supposed to be really nonstick. And I know that for myself personally, cheese, right, is really hard to cook. and really, really, it gets sticky once it's, and can be caked on, and it can be quite challenging in order to go ahead and clean up. So I wanted to see how this actually comes out. So I'm using our silicone scoop in order to kind of get this first piece out. You can use it. I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. So you can see that cheese. But I want you to see, look how clean that came out. I'm impressed. And you saw that when I put this in there, I did not grease this whatsoever. And so it is coming out really, really clean. Now, I have to say, when I did an almond pound cake again, which I did not flour or grease the pan, right? I was a little concerned that it was actually going to stick to the pan. Usually any kind of bakeware, you do need a flour and grease because bread products or cakes don't have a lot of fat to them. And so that way they would actually stick to the pans itself. Well, I was able to literally let it cool for just even a few minutes, and then it just popped right out. So I am very, very impressed with these pans. And so I'm excited about what's coming up in the fall. And these pans, any one of these Brilliance pans are currently in an introductory price. Okay, so they are priced at $129 and $59 for the 6-piece, which would include the 8x8, the 9x13, and the half sheet. And then the 2 large loaf pans are normally $70, and they come out introductory price for the month of August only for $59. So that is pretty amazing. So I am very excited about very many of the things. And as you can see, oh, it's kind of hot there. You can see, maybe you can't. Well, let's see if we can zoom in. Okay. I'm trying to get the best angle for it. So there are some browning because of the cheese, and there are some pieces of the cheese. And look, it just kind of came off. It cleanup for these pans is going to be amazing. So I wanted to go ahead, and if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. I'm just going to go ahead and grab my phone. Even though I can see the messages here, I want to look directly into the camera in order to do that. And so I want to thank you guys for allowing me to go live here. Like I said, this was new for me. And so you were definitely my trial in this whole thing. And I appreciate it. I'd like to know, though, if you guys can give me some feedback, for those that are watching this live, what do you think? So I would love to have your feedback. I also will be drawing for the winner of everyone who actually registered, and I will be announcing that winner tomorrow. So now, Linda, do you have the smaller one, or do you have the larger microwave popcorn maker? And Sandra, yeah, I agree. That Mix and Chop is one of the favorite products. Now, for the close and cut, Linda, do you only do it for pork chops, or do you do it for other meats? Yes, Linda, the pans are dishwasher safe.
You said that they deteriorate over time, so
They
not.
do. They do
They are not dishwasher safe.
They are dishwasher safe. Pampered Chef says they're dishwasher safe. They do highly recommend that they be hand washed. And I will give you more of that information. I agree. The mix and chop makes it so much easier in order to go ahead and get ground beef instead of having to do a spatula or even a fork. And especially if you have high quality cookware, you don't want to, on certain pieces, you definitely don't want to use metal utensils. And so that actually works really, really nice. Well, I wanted to thank you guys for watching this live. If you have any further questions, feel free to go ahead and message me directly. I will look forward to showing you more this coming fall season as we kick off our fall products come September 1st. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.